So about a year ago, I made a video documenting the process of making Mario Kart 7 mods and just putting some of my friends and just goofy characters into it. And recently, it's been getting more attention and some people are asking for a tutorial of some sorts. Since I made this video, creating Mario Kart 7 character mods has become so much easier. And that's mainly due to Str4ky, PabloMK7 of course, DNASDW, Bood400091, 3DS Guy, Bloro, and TS Gaming, and Nick Rich. Because they've created the CHPacker tool. And essentially, this makes it so you can create the UI assets, name the files, and do a lot of stuff all in one program. There's still a couple things you need to do outside of the program, which is where this video is going to come in handy. So step 1, download chpacker.zip and install it. Step 2, open up Blender or whatever 3D modeling software of choice and grab your model. Now you might be like, well, Super Guy, what if I don't have a model? Don't worry. It's really easy to create one. I'm actually going to go ahead and do it live and show you exactly how to do it in like 2 minutes. What we're going to do is the Joey Carlino method, where we use the skin modifier to quickly make, a really cartoony stick figure type of guy. I'm going to run through it really fast, but I'm not going to get into everything, so if you need more guidance, check out this video. Okay, so first thing we need to do is hit tab into edit mode, M, merge at center, and in the modifier tab, add a modifier, add mirror, and skin, and one more, subdivision, surface. And I'm going to leave that at default. I'm going to go ahead and bring the viewport up to 2. We do need the model to be relatively low poly because this is going to go on the 3DS, so it can't be super detailed. Anyway, set your view on the Y-axis and you can start modeling. You can hit E on your vertice, and just like that, you already got a little bit, some shapes going on, you know? You already got some shapes. Go ahead and make whatever kind of model you want from this, and go ahead. I'm just gonna make a stick figure. To make it easier to access every vertex, you can toggle on X-ray. I'm gonna add a neck, a head, and then scale the middle up to kind of make a head going. You know, kind of get a head. You see, it looks like an absolute alien right now, but basically, you just want to keep tweaking it until it looks right. You can use Control A to scale, and G to move, E to extrude. Do whatever you gotta do to get your model looking funny. Just try and keep it generally low poly. You don't want to fry your 3DS. I'm actually going to take the subdivision surface down to 1. Next up, I'm going to give the chest some more meat. You can hit Control R and then click to add another vertex so you can add more detail wherever you choose. And this looks pretty good. Just really try and capture the details of who you're trying to add into the game. So you might be wondering, Super Guy, who are you trying to add? I'm trying to add my friend that I bet $100 if this video doesn't come out on time. There we go. Okay, I'd say that's fairly accurate. Oh yeah, he's gonna love this. Once you're done with the character, make sure you hit Control S to save. Save it wherever you please. I'm just gonna hit tristain.blend. You might want to add some simple colors, and that's really easy. Just head over to the shading tab and give it a second go. And you'll have a new kind of window looking here. And you'll see, when you click on your model, you see slot 1, material. And that's just the default material. It's just white. So a really simple way to color your model is to go ahead and add an image texture. From here, you want to import a texture that contains all the colors you need. Drag that color into base color, and you can see I kind of already messed up. So once you've imported your image and plugged in color to base color, you want to go into UV editing, and you can toggle on X-ray for now. And what you want to do is just highlight the vertices that you want to be one color, and bring it all together. And shrink it into a square. Like, for example, in this image, his shorts are gray, so I'm gonna go ahead and make his pants gray. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And his shirt is black, so I'm gonna go ahead and make his shirt black. So select all the vertices that you want to be one color, hit U, Smart UV Project, and unwrap. And you'll get this grid. You can shrink it down and fit it into a square where you want the color from. So I want his shirt to be black, so I shrink it down and put it in the black square. You can see his shirt is now black. Looking nice. Everything else looks fine. I'm okay with him being pink. I do want to add some hair though, so what I'm going to do is select the top of his head. You can do this easily to add hair to your character as well. Select the top of his head. E to extrude, S to scale, and you can scale it up a bit. Now we have some really basic hair. You can also kind of, edit it, curve it down around his head. It might come out looking more like a hat, but remember, this is a custom model. We're doing fast and sloppy here. Tab back into edit mode, X-ray. Go ahead and select all his hair pieces, all his hair vertices, and make it also black because, you know, that's the color of his hair. Smart UV project, unwrap, shrink, and put it to black. And there we have it. Get back into preview mode. Yeah, looking good. Oh yeah. Now, this is the part where it gets a little weird. Now you might be like, Super Guy, he has no face. What the heck? And with that, we're basically done with your character. Control-Alt-S, so we save another increment. It'll be your character name 2 now. And now what we want to do is grab this program called CTR Studio. It's a very nice program that'll let you edit basically any 3DS model and look inside, you know. It's really cool for seeing how animations work inside 3DS games. We're going to need it. Go ahead and download it. I'll leave the link in the description. Open up CTR Studio and just have it go through the basic setup process. Now, you want to get the Citra emulator. If I could find a repo for Citra emulator, I will leave a link for it in the description. But if there's no luck, just try and find the specific version or use PabloMK7's version of a 3DS emulator. What you want to do now is dump your Mario Kart 7 game onto your computer, like I have here. There's plenty of tutorials like that on the internet. I'm not going to go over it here because that gets into, you know, just make sure you legally own the game and you're all good. So once you've got your game here, right-click it and click Dump ROM FS. Once the dump is done, go File, open Citra folder, and inside Dump ROM FS, inside your Mario Kart 7 ID, you'll see all these files. Now what we mainly need to go into is driver, and this is when you're gonna pick which character to overwrite for your mod, or simply base the animations off of if you're using CTGP-7 like a true Chad. For this example, I'm just gonna do Mario because he's one of the more humanoid characters, and I think the animations will transfer over the best to Tristan with Mario. So you want to search for MR, the MR folder, and go ahead and copy this. mr.bcmdl. BCMDL files are model files. Once you've copied it, go ahead and head back into your character folder. Just note that I'm going to call this going forward the character folder. Paste it in there. Copy the directory, CTR Studio, hit File, Open, paste your directory, and open mr.bcmdl. And as you can see, we got Mario. You can expand this folder, look at all his textures, all his, you know, really nice looking, funny looking, whatever looking type of looking. You could get really fancy with it and replace all these textures with your own just to make sure your character is equally as expressive as Mario. I'm not going to do that for this example, but it's generally easy if you've already created your textures. So now what you want to do is find the MR file, right-click it, export, and export is mr.dae, and just hit save. Now, in Blender, the reason why I told you to save it as an increment is because now we're going to kind of mess with the model. Hit import DAE, character directory, and import mr.dae. And now you can see Mario alongside your 3D model. Simply rotate your character to be in the same, face the same way as Mario. I'm going to go ahead and rotate him a complete 180. And scale your character up to kind of match Mario to the best of your ability. And now you just want to go into vertice edit mode, X-ray, and break your character's legs so they sit. Ideally, you would have modeled your character so that they were already sitting, but I didn't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put a note in the editing software to tell you to do that because I didn't. Got no foresight. Once you've got your character sitting, you want to toggle off X-ray mode because, God, that's annoying. Click on Mario, and you'll see in data we have all these vertex groups. And these vertex groups are essentially the rig. It tells the game which vertices to move with which bone. This makes it so the animations are transferred effortlessly onto your character without having to reanimate everything. And I know there is a way to import custom animations. I had assumed it was as simple as replacing the .anim file, but when I asked that question, I got crickets, so I don't really know. So I don't know how. I'm not going to tell you how. I'm just going to tell you how to make the animations work with your character, which I think is equally as good. Because, let's be real here, who's really going to go through all that? Once you've got everything imported, delete Mario and his face as well. Click on your model, control-click on the armature, and then parent with empty groups. And as you can see, all these vertex groups got added. And this is how we're actually going to make sure your character works with Mario Kart 7's rig. So with your model selected, if you tab into edit mode, you can see we got all these extra bones. Waist is not only the waist, by the way, it's also supposed to be the legs. So with X-ray on, make sure you highlight an even box so you get everything on both sides and assign. So all these vertices are now assigned to the waist. You can see you can select all of them with the press of a button, which is going to come in handy later. And next one I want to do is spine, which is more like the body of your character. So I'm going to go ahead and select this area and assign it to the spine. Now with every vertice in spine selected, I'm going to remove it from the waist. So I go into here with everything selected and remove. Now if we select the waist, we just make sure there's absolutely no overlap. Because if you have one vertice assigned to two groups, it'll break the rig and it won't work. Next step I want to do is the head. This one's really easy. So again, tab into side view and just box select the head to the best of your ability, assign, and make sure everything from that is removed in the spine group. Make sure you select spine, select head, to make sure everything in this general area is assigned to a group. You don't want to miss any vertices either because it gets messy. Oops, looks like we missed some on the spine. So that's really easy. Just hold down Shift and select whatever you missed and assign again. Now, what I do recommend doing so you don't select a vertice multiple times is you just hit H and it'll hide all the vertices so you don't accidentally select them. And that actually revealed more missing vertices. So go ahead and hit Alt plus H to unhide it and make sure those missing vertices were selected. Assign, same thing. Arm L1. So arm L1 is like the left shoulder. So find your character's left shoulder area and select it to where you think fits the shoulder area the best. Assign. L2 is like the lower, it's like the forearm of your character. Assign. And wrist is your character's hand. So select the wrist and assign. And again, just go through it, make sure you have everything. Make sure everything gets highlighted in the groups and do the same for the other side. And it's as simple as that. But what we need to do is select one vertice on the bottom of your model to be the root. This single vertice will serve as like the bottom of your model. It's where your character is really going to sit. So you want to make sure it's towards the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and choose this vertice right here. Just make sure it's towards the center. And hit assign. You want to make sure this vertice is removed from every other group. You can't have it be in any other group, otherwise the animation will try and move the root. And if you know what a root is in 3D animation, it moves the entire model. So say if your character is trying to move its wrist and the root is assigned to the wrist, whenever it tries to move its wrist, the whole model is going to move with it. So it's just going to look weird. Alt H to unhide. I don't believe anything is meant to be assigned to all roots. It's just an object the game uses to find everything under the root, if that makes sense. Okay. Anyway, once you're done, do the same thing. Control Alt S to save an increment. Okay, so I did kind of move up. If you heard me mention anything before this point about separating the face, ignore that because it's wrong. Now, after you've rigged it, is when you want to separate the face. So select your faces, funnily enough, and right-click Separate by Selection. And now we have it as a separate object. Name it face, because why not? Now save and make sure the head vertex group is still there and working. So to texture the face now, it's as simple as going into your shading tab and making a new material simply called face and plugging in your face texture. Plugging the color into the pencil BSCF, base color, and surface. From there, you want to go into UV editing. Hit tab to go into edit mode. Hit A to select all. Smart UV project. Hit U to UV unwrap. You might not see the texture right away, so you might need UV unwrap first. First thing you want to do is fix the rotation and just scale the texture. And you want to scale your texture so it fits the face to the best of your ability. I think it's funnier if I bring this up. Yeah, that looks pretty funny. Perfect, man. Perfect. Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Oh, yeah. That's great. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So once you're done with all that, hit Control S to save, file, export .dae, delete your previous one. Export this, make sure your model is selected from the armature and include children. Export DAE, and in CTR Studio, replace the Mario model with your own. Let me go ahead and check on import textures just for the sake of it. And as you can see, we have our model in now. So if you want to check the rig just to make sure it works, just choose an animation and play it. And as you can see, it doesn't look that bad for like a 10-minute rigging job. Maybe some positioning. Maybe I can move I could probably move the shoulders back a couple vertices as well. Same thing. Same for the wrist, really. But that doesn't look too bad. I mean, hey. So what you want to do is replace Mario's textures with your own. Okay, I think I've already done that. Now, because I'm not animating any of this, I'm going to go ahead and replace all these textures with my custom face texture. Expand your model until you find your character's body model. Assign mat_mr_body. And for the same thing for the face, mat_mr_eye. And now we have the face working. Textures are working. Everything is nice. And that's it for our custom mr_mdl file. We want to go ahead and save it. So hit Control-Alt-S. And we can create a new folder inside our custom character folder. And just call it Final. And in here, we're going to save mr.bcmdl. Awesome. It's been saved. Now, we're not quite ready to jump into CHPacker yet. There are still a few more things we need to do. First and foremost, we need to grab a simple kind of icon for a character, which can be a 64x64 texture, or you can create a custom one here in Blender, like I'm about to show you. You can head into the preview render, hit Control-A, add camera, and hit Control-Alt-0 to set the camera to your position. Now we want to look for where it exports, and we want to change the resolution to 64 pixels by 64 pixels. Perfect. And we can zoom in as much as needed. I think that looks pretty good. Optionally, you can select your character model and right-click Shade Smooth, and that'll get it looking a little nicer. Ideally, I would have matched the skin tones a little better, but hey, I mean, this is a meme character for a tutorial, so like, shoot me. Set the output to your character folder, and you want to hit Render Image. And that will give us a very simple 64x64 pixel icon to work with. If your render comes out pretty dark, like it did for me, what you can do is add a spotlight, scale it, bring it forward, bring it in front of your character, and if you want it to look good, you want to light your character from the side. So let's go ahead and render again, see if that fixes our problem. No, okay, we need to make the light brighter. Kind of play with the lighting, really, and just get everything to a point where you're happy. And that looks pretty good to me. Now, we're still not ready to jump into CTR Studio quite yet. What you want to do is head back into Citra. Now what you want to do is go back into your Citra dump and find the character_LOD BCMDL and paste it inside your character folder. Now, open this in CTR Studio. So go File, Open, there's some character, mr_LOD.bcl. And as you can see, this is a much lower resolution version of Mario with no rig, no animations whatsoever, just one texture as well. So we're going to need to create a low poly version of our character to also get it working, unless you want it to look like a Mario from far away. Would be lame. So again, head back to your character, increment it, Control-Alt-S. And just for making this a LOD model, you can join the face back to the body. And we don't really need any of this in the LOD version of Tristan. Except you want to check the vertices. It's still under 500 vertices, which is good. For your main model, you want to keep it under 700 if you want the character to run good on real 3DSs. But for an LOD model, we want to keep that under, like, I want to say 200 is the number, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to shoot for that, see if it works. So you want to go into the modifiers with your character selected, add a decimate modifier, and just tick that down until you see the vertices also go down. It's okay if your character starts looking like crap, by the way. And yeah, that seems to do it. Go ahead and save that. And because this version of your character is going to have no rig, ideally you want to make it so it looks like their hands are on the wheels by default. So I'm going to go ahead and just edit the model so his hands are forward. All right. Looking good to me. Next up, we want to export this version of your custom character. So click on it, make sure you include children selected, and just name it Tristan, MR, custom character, character you're replacing, and then LOD.DAE, and export. Now in CTR Studio, simply replace, and select your LOD model, hit OK. See, textures are all busted, but that's all right. Now we want to save this. Control-Alt-S, and in Final, and save. Perfect. Now I'm going to go over everything we just did, because it's a lot, and you might need to take a moment to catch up, you know? We created the custom character model, saved it as a DAE, then imported it into CTR Studio, and replaced Mario with our custom character. We saved it in a folder called Final in our custom character folder. Next thing we did was create a low poly version of our custom character model and replaced it with Mario_LOD, Mario's LOD model. And we also imported the custom textures. And of course, we rendered a icon for the character. Now, I believe we are officially ready to move on to CHPacker. So go ahead and open that up, hit new CHPack, and we wrote over Mario. So long name, Tristan Alcatraz. Short name, little t. Group, I'm going to leave that as default. Authors, CHPacker, Tristan. Default glider color. Oops. I want to set the glider main color to be black, though. Fit his shirt. And hit OK. There we go. See extras. We don't need to do that. Okay. And from there, we can hit next. If you want to translate the name, you can go ahead. I'm not going to do that because I don't really need to. Voice lines directory. Okay. So this is the rough part. I'm going to show you how to do it, but it's kind of tedious. I won't lie to you. Create a new folder within your character folder called voice lines. Simply titled voice lines. And in here, you want to import WAV files for the voice lines at 16,000 hertz and named to this format. Now, if you saw my video, you remember me complaining about how annoying this was because it's simply a pain in the butt. I mean, it just is. It just is, man. So if you want custom voice lines, we're going to need another program called Citric Composer. Now, what you can do with Citric Composer is open your game's BCSAR file, which contains, which is basically a directory for all the sounds. So you can go ahead and open that, give it a second to load, and files, boom, we can see all this crap. Oh, I'm getting a headache just remembering this, man. Once you've done that, you want to expand groups and find whatever character you're replacing, their audio group, expand files, and yeah, there we go. And open the .bcwar file. And you can go through and hear all these sounds.
Oh, yeah!
So, you can see the group name right here. This is group 3. For Mario's racing voice lines, it's group 3. So if I wanted to replace, for example, Mario's item put sound effect, simply snd underscore 03 underscore 01. And another thing you want to keep in mind is that you got to keep the audio file under 3.5 megabytes. Otherwise, CTGP-7 will crash. So it'll be a pain in the butt. To change the select and go voices, it's as simple as naming underscore select and underscore snd underscore go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just to prove that this works. Tristan, a little while ago, sent me a very funny voicemail. I think I can sample here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there we go. Import your sound file.
Oh, boy.
Split clip. And just select what you want to get in split clip. There we go. And I'm going to boost. I want to boost this. So I'm going to go to Effect, Amplify. I want to amplify it by 5 decibels. This makes it louder. So I'm going to keep doing that until it's clear and loud. And before you export your voice line, make sure it's set to mono here. After you just make sure it's in mono, and then go into Tracks, Resample. Make sure your clip is selected. Tracks, Resample, and set it to 16,000 hertz. All right, sounds good to me. File, export as WAV into the voice lines folder. And what we need to rename it to is snd underscore go, with go being lowercase. So properties, let's go ahead and rename to snd underscore go. We can set the directory in here. Tristan character and voice. Okay, next, select icon. Now you want to select your asset, your little render for each icon. Alternatively, you can create separate ones, but make sure you check on automatically resize. Hey, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to reuse the same one. Main color, again, I want to make that like a grayish kind of color. Yeah, I'd say it looks pretty good. I'll leave the secondary color as blue, and for the main color on the pipe frame, I'm trying to think about what Tristan's favorite color is. I'm honestly tempted to say it's also blue, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And now we got to put in our models. So, and rename our mr.bcmdl to driver.bcmdl and mr_LOD bcmdl to driver_LOD bcmdl. This is so CHPacker could pick up the files. Where do you guess mods? Mario Kart 7 characters, Tristan character, and bcmdl. Nice. And now we hit generate. Alright, there we go. I went ahead and created a new folder inside my custom character folder called CHPack, where I'll save Tristan.chpack. Where I'll save it as Tristan.chpack. And terminate. Now we can go ahead and test our mod. It's finally time to see if it works. So in Azahar, go open Azahar folder, SDMC, CTGP-7, my stuff, characters. All we need to do from there is drag and drop our CHPack. Once that's done, let's launch CTGP-7. Please, for the love of God, work. Please, for the love of God. No, take me back. I don't want you, Bowser. There we go. Tristan Alcatraz in all his glory. Let's select him. I didn't play the sound, but I think that's fine. Oh, wow, that is really cursed. There we go. It did play the sound. Okay. I don't know if you heard that. Let's go ahead and see. Hear it again. Come on. Turn up the volume. Oh man, that's perfect. Alrighty. Come on, Tristan, let's win. Oh wow, this is hard on PC. Yep, this is this is peak gaming right here, guys. You can see we got a fully functioning custom character. We have officially done it. I hope this will help you create the best mod ever. Maybe put your friend into this troll. And if you like this video and that subscribe button is white, you're doing it wrong, click it to make it gray. Have a nice day.